All right. Hello there, health coaches. You know what? When I was in school to become a health coach, they gave us a couple of workshops to use. They gave us a sugar workshop. They gave us another one that was about emotional eating. And I think that was the second one. And then I know there was another one called Eat More, Weigh Less. Does anybody else remember the Eat More, Weigh Less workshop that IIN used to give out? Or do they still give it out? I have no idea. Way too many years have passed. But I was thinking about that, and it was the inspiration for today's episode about earning more while charging less. I think you're going to love this idea. We're going to get into it in just a moment. Hello to Cheryl, who is complimenting my necklace. Some people say this necklace looks like I'm wearing slices of mozzarella around my neck, but I wear it anyway. I like it. It has gravity to it. Speaking of detailed resources, right? I was just telling you about the workshops that IIN gave me when I was in health coaching school 100,000 years ago. I love when our various coaching schools provide detailed resources, don't you? Now, one of the health coaching schools that I have a great relationship with is Primal Health Coach Institute. Any Primal folks out there? I know many of our listeners are graduates of like Primal Level 1 and Level 2. Well, check this out. Primal has a new gut health certification course that's open to all health coaches, regardless of where you went to school. And this is a very popular, very important topic. I hear you guys talking about gut health and wanting to learn about gut health all the time inside our Facebook group. This course was developed in partnership with Dr. William Davis, who is the author of Wheat Belly. If you've read that book, I know I have. And best of all, the first section of the course is available to you for free, just for being here, just for being part of my community. So you can go get that at healthcoachpower.com/microbiome. I'm going to drop that link over here in my Facebook chat. Again, it's healthcoachpower.com/microbiome, because that's what we want to learn about. And I suggest everybody grabs this free resource because you're likely going to learn something that you did not already know about the gut. And if you decide you want to go the distance, you'll be eligible for 25% off the whole certification program, which I'll tell you about real briefly. This certification covers anatomy and physiology from a microbiome perspective, food intolerances and what they tell us about the microbiome disruptions associated with specific disease states, useful, and how to identify and manage microbial overgrowth, and a whole lot more. I got a sneak peek of the course. I thought it was fantastic. I want you to get a sneak peek too. So go ahead and grab it now at healthcoachpower.com/microbiome. I'll wait. I mean, this is a podcast. We're recording this to podcast, so I assume everybody can just hit pause when they're listening and then come back when you're ready. So one more time, that URL is healthcoachpower.com/microbiome. Okay, good. We got it. Time to talk about today's topic, which is charging less in order to earn more as a health coach. Does this sound good to anybody? Just tell me in the chat if you're like, yes, please. Yes, please. I always hear health coaches saying that they're not so keen on charging the high prices, not so comfortable asking for a lot of money. So I feel like this is going to sit very nicely with many of you. So first, I want to share why this pricing model is valuable and relevant, perhaps more than ever in 2023. Then I'll explain what it's all about. And we'll talk about the two mechanisms that allow you as a health coach to actually earn more while charging less. It's two-pronged, and that's only something that I learned like down the line. I just learned it along the way, but I want you to know right from the get-go so you can maximize it. Okay, so about pricing. You're going to often, and if you listen to this show regularly, you'll often hear me say to price yourself high. And there are a lot of good reasons for health coaches to price high. And this is like a yes and situation. Yes, and you know what else is true? Like I noticed this week when I was grocery shopping, that grass-fed beef went up. The price went up by over 50%, like in 1 week. And the price of gas in my area, I don't know about where you guys are, but it's hovering just under $4 a gallon. And I'm noticing that prices that went up across the board due to COVID, like the cost of lumber. Anybody replacing a roof or doing any renovations on your house, you will know this. The cost of lumber shot up because at the time there was trouble with transportation, et cetera. Well, guess what? These prices and so many more, they haven't come down, have they? And while there are still plenty of clients out there who can, I want to emphasize this, who can easily afford your high ticket private coaching. Yes, and sometimes it makes good business sense to also offer lower cost alternatives. Do we like this so far? Sound comfortable? Just give me a shout out in the chat if this is sounding like something that is going on in your life too. You've noticed the prices. You notice that, yes, some people can afford private coaching, but other people like just literally cannot with the cost of eggs. You know what I mean? So with this strategy, you can get people in the door who otherwise you might not reach, right? You can impact more lives overall. And if done right, and I do want to underscore if done right, you can actually increase your earnings in your business. Now, as a sidebar, another reason, I mentioned this a second ago, another reason the strategy is attractive, I know, because so many health coaches, especially if you're newer, you're hesitant. It can be hard to ask for $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, right? That's something to work on. You're going to get there. But in the meantime, what if you could ask for $50, $100, $500? So I want you to think of this as training wheels for your money mindset, if that's where you're at right now. And Hanan, I see that you're here with me live. Hello, nice to see you. Whether you're a newer coach like Hanan, or you have tons of experience with private clients, how do we do it? How do we earn more while charging less? This is no big secret. Obviously, you need a scalable offer, something that you're offering that has virtually no limit to the number of participants. Unlike private clients, right? You can only do one of those at a time. And even if you saw clients back to back to back to back, there's a limit to how many private clients you can work with in a day, in a week, in a month, right? So that's not going to work. You can't bring down the price on private coaching because it's not scalable. Small group coaching, maybe, but small groups tend to max out at around 5 participants, 10 participants. I mean, how many people can you have before it's not really small group coaching anymore? So the next step, right? The next scalable option beyond group coaching is to offer an online course. And please don't run away screaming. Let me explain. An online course, now it could be super comprehensive, like a video-based curriculum, lots and lots of lessons and modules. It could be like that. And maybe that's what pops into your head when you think online course. But, and I tell you this because I have run so many different online courses in my career, an online course could just mean a simple 5-day jumpstart with nothing more than a PDF with instructions and maybe a live Zoom call with all of your participants. You see how that's scalable? Because you can send that PDF to 2 people, 20 people, 2,000 people. It doesn't matter. Same amount of work. And you can hold a live Zoom call again for 2 people, 20 people, whatever. So my point is, there's a huge range of what an online course can look like. Got that? Real important so we don't get scared and run away before we even get started. And I promise you, there is something appropriate for you, regardless of how much experience you have as a health coach or as a business owner. Now, again, you will always hear me say that I recommend you start with one-on-one coaching. And I do. And again, it's like a yes and situation. Yes, and if you wanted to run an online course, even in your very first year of business, you absolutely could. Now, I'm going to be walking you through the first steps of creating your online course, whatever it ends up being, in just a couple of weeks. So if you don't have a clue where to start or how to go about putting together an online course, I want you to join us for our free 5-day bootcamp. It's at healthcoachpower.com/bootcamp. We did this last year. It was extremely popular, so I'm bringing it back. And this way, you'll be able to diversify your offerings and move towards a business model where it is entirely possible for you to charge less and earn more at the same time. I know. Like I said, I have created more online courses than I can even remember. Like sometimes I sit down and I try to make a list and just dig through my memory. Cause let me tell you, my records, my files, I have moved many times. I've gotten divorced. I mean, I just don't even have record of so many things I did 10 years, 12 years, 14 years ago. So I dig through my memory and sometimes I'm like, I know I'm forgetting something. But since the earliest days of my health coaching career, I was running online courses. So one more time, the URL to that bootcamp, so you can create your own online course with me, is healthcoachpower.com/bootcamp. And we are going to get started on October 1st. So go ahead and get yourself registered now before you forget. Now, there are actually 2 ways that online courses allow you to earn more, even though that person is paying less. The first is the more obvious one, right? This is what we've already talked about. If there's no limit to how many people you can enroll in your online course, there's no cap, then you can serve more clients, right? So that's one way, of course, to earn more money, is to serve more people. And that's the whole idea. Like if you're working with 5 or 10 private clients now, great. You would be hoping to serve more than 5 or 10 in an online course, right? This is where you can multiply the number of people that you're reaching, you're working with at the same time, right? Yes, they're paying you less, but overall, it can add up to much more. So we can work with more people. We can impact more lives. There is no limit. There's no cap to how many people we can help, which is an awesome thing, because that's why we got into this work, right? We don't want to help like 1 person, 2 people. We want to change the world. So this is a good way to do it. The second way that this strategy works is that if you create an online course that is worth repeating, like for example, something like a 5-day jumpstart, or when I was in the early days of my health coaching career, I would offer a detox a couple times a year, and people would sign up once and they would sign up again and they would sign up again and they would sign up again, and then they'd bring their friends and the friends would do it again with them. And it just became this sort of repetition, and they loved it. They loved knowing that they were going to be able to do this in the spring and then come back in the fall and do it again. So you have these repeat clients. We talked about this a few episodes ago when I was talking about recurring income. You can create one main course, and if it's, again, the type of thing that makes sense for people to repeat, we're thinking about, then you actually create someone who's paying you once, and they're paying you twice, and they're paying you 3, 4, 5, 6 times, month in, month out, year in, year out. Now, the other way that online courses create more repeat clients, and this is really important in business in general, because the people who are most likely to buy from you, this has got to be true across all industries, but I can tell you very specifically, from my experience as a coach, the people who are most likely to buy something from you are the people who already have. Like if you always go to the same pharmacy, like the next time you get whatever, you have to like go buy Band-Aids or something, you're probably going to go to that same pharmacy. And, we tend to like find someone or something that we like and give them our business. So once you have someone who buys from you, that are more likely to buy other things, so give them more things to buy from you and you will make more money. And this leads me to the idea of not just having courses that repeat, but having, over time, it will take some time, multiple courses that you offer. So maybe you buy course A that I create this year and you have a great experience. And then next year I create course B and you sign up for that too. And you tell all your friends because you had such a good time in course A, and so on and so forth. At a certain point in your career, you could have a suite of offerings. And so again, you get those repeat purchases from your most loyal clients. And in those 2 ways, reaching more people and allowing them to take you up on your offers again and again and again, you can actually earn far more than if you were only reaching one person at a time. And yes, sometimes our one-on-one clients will re-up and work with us again. I see this vary tremendously from some coaches say that a lot of their clients do that, which is interesting. In my experience as a health coach, with the population that I was working with, I always felt like they got what they needed, they reached their goals, they were happy, and they were done when we were done. And very rarely did I work with someone beyond that 3-month mark or 6-month mark or whatever it was. But I think it's safe to say that people are more likely to buy multiple courses, repeat that same course with you, than they are to hire you as a private coach again and again and again and again. That's more rare. So in this way, over time, you really can grow your income in a way that isn't quite possible if you just stick with the one-on-one or the small groups. So I want to invite you again to join us for our Create Your Online Course 5-day bootcamp, which is starting October 1st. The URL to join completely free is at healthcoachpower.com/bootcamp. I have so much in store for you, but don't worry. It can get overwhelming if you think about all the things. So even though I have so much in store for you, I have it designed in such a way that we're just going to look at one bit each day of the boot camp, so you don't start getting overwhelmed, run away screaming. I know it can feel like a lot. I have a system. I'm going to share it all with you at the beginning of October. So I'm going to say it one more time. Please head on over to healthcoachpower.com/bootcamp. And thank you so much for joining me today. I'll be back with you next week. Have a great one, everyone. Bye-bye.